What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending on what time zone you're in, it's Wednesday night, but for some of y'all, it's Thursday morning, and y'all know what that means. Boop, boop. One more day till the weekend is here. Come on, let's go. Oh my gosh, I need my horn back, yo. All right, I have a good show set up for you guys today. I have a great show set up for you guys today. In Behind the Feed and Off the Record, Marlon Wayans' career is over. He is getting so much backlash over the 50 Cent documentary. He is literally trending out here, and people are refusing to watch his movies. I'll tell you all about that. And also, Diddy, the name I said I wasn't going to say anymore, but for today's show, we're going to call him Puffy, so I don't actually say his name. Puffy is suing Netflix for $1 billion. Allegedly the biggest defamation case in U.S. history. I'll break that down for y'all. In lead stories, Wendy Williams may be released out of her guardianship by the end of the year. And also, we have a Donald Trump update for you. He is starting a social media history before visitors enter the United States of America. He also said that Black people love him, and he hit on his press secretary, Karoline Leavitts. Whew. I told y'all we got a good show. In quick news, we're going to talk about the world's debt, Gelo Ball, plane crashes, Beyoncé, how long men last in bed by country, Joy Taylor, a woman gives birth to 9 kids, Andy Dick, and Pamela Anderson. As always, we're going to close out the show with question of the day, comments of the day, and social discussion of the day. Also, for those of you who are sick and tired of spam phone calls, emails, and text messages that might take all your information from you in one click of a bad link, have no fear. We have a 14-day free trial from Aura that will help you get rid of all of your information off of the dark web, all right? Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TV, radio, your devices up. Come on, it's almost the weekend, man. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. All right, in our first story behind the feed and off the record, Marlon Wayans is in some big trouble. Whoop, I just got a super thanks. Hold on one second. Let me just... I tell you guys, I'm that quick on my super thanks. All right, sorry. Marlon Wayans literally had to make a press release today defending the things he said on a radio station that, by the way, we were one of the first to play it for you when it came out. I'm going to play you his defense, and we're going to break a few things down. I see where some of you are coming from, but I also just kind of want to make a case. For those of you who don't know, Marlon Wayans went on a radio show and said that he was not a huge fan of the 50 Cent Puffy documentary. And for him, he needed to see some more receipts. And he felt like 50 was pushing a narrative. He didn't say that Diddy was a good person. He didn't say he didn't back that he's backing Diddy. Nothing. He's just talking about the documentary and 50 Cent. And he has gotten a lot of backlash. And he had to come out and literally say, hey, as a filmmaker, I'm just talking about documentaries and I'm talking about 50 Cent. This has nothing to do with me defending Diddy. And like I said at the top, there's a lot of people that are trying to boycott Marlon Wayans for his stance on this documentary. And there's people who are saying they don't want to watch any more scary movie franchises and they want Marlon Wayans canceled. Listen to the press release that he had to put out today. Take a listen.
All right, so I'm going to make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep.
Okay, like I said, I want to address this a little because from time to time, there's some people in my comment section that if I have a comment on the Diddy trial, if I have a comment on the prosecution, if I have a comment on the documentary, I'll see a few people in my comment section are like, you're defending Diddy. Now, that doesn't happen to me very often because I have a lot of daily listeners and my outlouders know who I am and know where my heart is. But there are a few people here and there that are like, oh my gosh, you're defending Diddy. And I just wanted to take the opportunity to highlight what Marlon is saying. You can have an opinion on a situation, and it doesn't mean you defend Diddy. And like even the few people that will put that in my comment section, I'm surprised at that, because I'm the one who thinks that Diddy should be in jail for what he did to Cassie. I'm a stark supporter of women's rights, and I am a huge supporter of DV. For those of you who really know me well, you know that I grew up in a household with DV, and I think it's horrible. And I think that the statute of limitations in the United States of America should be changed. There is no statute of limitation on somebody committing unaliving or other acts. There should be no statute of limitation on DV. Diddy was caught on tape. Diddy admitted to what he did to Cassie. Diddy should be sitting in jail for what he did to Cassie, DV. There should be no statute of limitation. And I have always said that from the beginning, but I will go and cover the court case and say, I don't agree with the Mann Act. The Mann Act is a old white racist law from 110 years ago that's not set up for an individual anymore. And, I don't agree with the fact that he's sitting in jail for 4 years for that, while most people who get convicted of that have like 20 women that they're doing this trafficking towards, and they're making millions of dollars. So just having that opinion, some people will be like, you're defending Diddy. No, I'm not. He should be in jail for DV. And the United States Constitution and the laws should be ashamed of themselves, and that should be changed. Any sort of evidence you find on any woman, any man on the face of this earth that puts their hand on a woman should be in jail, especially ones that are caught on videotape. All right. So, like I said, I'm going to go back to a few other people that have said things about this documentary. And again, not defending Marlon, like he could do this on his own, but I just think it's an interesting conversation to have, because everybody, even content creators or anybody who's in the public eye that's on radio stations in 2025 should have a right to their opinion about a documentary or certain things in the documentary and not get canceled. Marlon Wayans should not have his whole career and franchise completely obliviated because he was like, hey, I didn't see receipts in the documentary and I think some things were misleading. So I want to play a few clips from you. I'm going to play 2 clips from Torre. Now, I don't know if you guys know who Torre is, but Torre is a journalist. He is a legend in this game. He used to work at MTV, and he has interviewed Biggie, Tupac, and Diddy, and he is a full legend. And he hates Diddy. He was in the courtroom almost every day. He despises Diddy. And even he came out and made comments about the documentary. He said something about Tupac, and he said something about Biggie that I want to play for you. Here is the first comment about Biggie and how 50 Cent used this clip in the documentary. It's his clip of him interviewing Biggie, and he's going to show you and tell you in his own words how 50 Cent used this to skew the narrative. And this is exactly what Marlon Wayans was talking about as a filmmaker. Listen to Torre, and keep in mind, Torre hates Diddy. Listen to this.
I just got to talk about one moment in the Diddy doc.
That's how real it is. I think somebody's trying to kill me. I'll be waking up paranoid. I'll be really scared. Just be paranoid.
So I did that interview. He's talking to me. The doc places this right before Peterson Auto Museum, March 9th. But you know what? We did that interview on the first album. That's him talking about the street, not the game. The first time I interviewed him, we were sitting in the hallway of his building, and if anybody started walking up, somebody from the crew would go down with a hammer. But the doc makes it like that bite about his fear relates to the Big Pac situation and his fear ahead of going to LA. That clip is way out of context. It's from years earlier.
Okay. Now, listen to what Torre says about Tupac. If you guys go back last week, this is exactly verbatim the same thing I said about the documentary. And like I said, there's a few people saying, yo, you're defending Diddy. No, I just don't believe the accusations for now of Diddy being involved with the Tupac unaliving, because I know the case, and the case is Keefe D, who is on trial, and his trial is going to start, I think, in August for the Tupac unaliving. And the only evidence that we have that Diddy has anything to do with Tupac's unaliving is Keefe D, who's a psycho himself, right? Saying, hey, Diddy told me that he'd give me $1 million if I unalive Tupac and Suge Knight. There's no evidence that they met. There's no evidence that he said that. There's no text messages. There's no video, nothing. There's just one man who said that. And he said that under a darling deal for a day where the police, I already read to you why Keefe D even admitted to this, where he had a deal where you could say anything to the police for one day for 24 hours and they can't use anything against you. And that's when he brought up Diddy's name. And then he talked about it on interviews with Vlad TV, and he wrote a book. That's the only piece of evidence that we have. And I'm like, not that I don't believe it. Maybe Diddy had something to do with Tupac's unaliving, but I need more than Keefe D saying, yeah, Diddy told me to. Listen to Torre. Again, somebody who hates Diddy, wants Diddy under the jail, is like, well, I don't really believe that he had anything to do with Tupac. Listen to Torre.
If the Diddy doc is 50's attempt to destroy the image of Diddy even further, he missed the main thing. The doc spends a lot of time trying to get us to believe that Puff unalived Pac. After years of hearing this story, I still don't buy it. He announced to a room full of people, over 40 people, if you get Pac and Suge, I'll give you $1 million. When Pac beats up Orlando, of all people, Keefe D's nephew, they say, oh, now is our perfect opportunity to do that thing that Puff told us to do. Let's apply Occam's razor. What is more likely, that this happened because of a record executive from New York, or the situation in LA?
Now, shout out to Torre. That's why I love about Torre, that he's very honest. In more clips, he goes on to say, why didn't 50 Cent talk about Kim Porter? Why didn't 50 Cent talk about 10 other things? The reason why I think Diddy is a horrible person. But just like Marlon and just like a couple other people, they're pointing out things in the documentary that they have heard before and they don't necessarily believe. So are you guys going to now hate Torre and feel like Torre is a horrible person and his career should be over? Like, it just doesn't compute to me. Here's another clip that's circulating online.
Where's the receipts? There's 4 episodes of people telling stories. Where's the receipts from the funeral, the money, the allegations, Sting, the music? Where are the receipts? This is all just hearsay. You got to show, I'm not saying he's innocent, but you're supposed to show evidence. It's a documentary. Document.
All right, and also, too, I forgot to say, shout out to Torre. Torre was super cool with me when I saw him in court. I was like, yo, bro, you're a legend. Like, he's like, yo, stop. And then he also came outside while I was recording one day and came on my live and was like, yo, I like this guy, watch his show. And we started, like, talking about other things other than Tupac. We started talking about Oprah Winfrey. I don't know how we got onto that. But shout out to Torre. That's my guy. So the last clip I want to play for you is the latest person commenting on the documentary. And here is Ray J talking about Little Rod. And he's saying to the fact that Little Rod was like, hey, I woke up some mornings and, you know, some things were sore. And I think Diddy did some stuff to me. And Ray J's like, well, why did you keep coming back for 8 months? You know what I mean? And like, and why are we hearing about this now? Like, if it happened that one time, like, what's up? And if you would have gotten paid, because he's claiming that Diddy didn't pay him, saying, hey, if Diddy paid you, would we still hear about the story? Again, no one's discrediting Little Rod, but that Ray J is like, why do you keep coming back every day? Like, what's going on here? So listen to Ray J. And I ask, does this mean Ray J is going to get canceled? Take a listen.
You heard me say what I said, and that's kind of what cranked this whole thing up. But then fast forward to the documentary, saying that they was getting their ass taken, bro, multiple times. Nigga owe you some money, and now I'm still here partying, acting like nothing ever happened.
Anyway, so that's just some clips like I wanted to show you. Torre, Ray J, people on the internet. Again, no one's defending Diddy. People are just saying, hey, this documentary that is #1 across the world right now, yo, there's some questions I have. Nobody is supporting Diddy, including me, who feels like ultimately I would love to see Diddy in jail for DV. You put your hands on a woman and that's recorded. We have the evidence. Why should there be a statute of limitation on that? That is disgusting and that is deplorable. And that is the money that should be spent to change that law and put him in jail for however long the maximum is. This man came out on video and was like, yeah, sorry about that. You have evidence, you have proof. And the law says, oh, after 5 years, a man can't go to jail for that. That's disgusting. And that's always been my point. So I find it hilarious when people are like, oh, you're defending Diddy? Really? Anyways, so just regardless of all that, Marlon is making it clear that he's not defending Diddy. He's just talking about the documentary. He is still trolling 50 Cent right now. Just yesterday, he put this picture out of him, of 50 Cent and Diddy in a jacuzzi. And a lot of people are putting up pictures of 50 and Diddy. Some, I'm pretty sure, is AI, but a lot of people are like, yo, like, what happened? Y'all used to be cool. We have a lot of pictures of you guys hanging around. Another person, of course, who's dragging 50 Cent is Ja Rule. And Ja Rule put this out today, which is a pretty shocking thing that a lot of people didn't know about. When 50 Cent filed bankruptcy, just this summer, his bankruptcy was reopened because of allegations of him putting hands on a woman. Now, you'll see it here right beside me. I did a quick little read up about it. And from what I've read, 50 Cent is the one who actually asked for his bankruptcy to be reopened so that he doesn't have to pay this woman. But what Ja Rule is trying to show is that 50 Cent has allegations, and we talked about this yesterday, that 50 Cent has multiple allegations, including from his baby mama, of him putting hands on women. So 50 Cent, during interviews, is like, I want to put this documentary out so y'all don't think that we accept this in hip-hop, but he has skeletons in his closet. And that's Ja Rule saying that. And again, I ask, does that mean that Ja Rule is standing up for Diddy? No. It's saying that he's questioning 50 Cent and he's questioning his motives. And we all know that 50 doesn't like Diddy. So just to recap quickly, that is Marlon Wayans saying just the way that he put the documentary together. Again, it's a lot of old stories, and the way how he's framing it and not having the receipts is a stretch. You have Ja Rule just hating anything 50 Cent's going to do, so he's going to come at him. Again, not defending Diddy. You have Touré that said, you're using my clips from my interviews and you're placing it around the time that he was in LA, making people think that he feared that he was going to get unalived in LA. But the truth is, we recorded that in his hood 5 years ago. So Touré is just bringing out that fact too. Doesn't mean that he's offending Diddy. We also have Lauren LaRosa from the Breakfast Club, that she said that Biggie's estate, Wayne Burroughs, came out and said, 50 Cent is lying. That's not true. That Diddy paid for the funeral, and 50 Cent in the documentary was claiming that Biggie's estate paid for the funeral, and Wayne Burroughs was like, it's not true. Diddy paid for the whole entire funeral. People are like, oh, the Breakfast Club is paid off. They're defending Diddy. They're not defending Diddy. Lauren LaRosa is just being a journalist. You have Ray J. You have me that said stuff about the documentary. You have Flacco that I played for you. You have Charlemagne just today on the Breakfast Club. Sorry, Char, I don't mean to bring you into this, but today on the Breakfast Club, Charlemagne was like, yo, I used to work with Wendy Williams. Like, everything that I saw in that documentary, the first 3 parts, I heard of already. You know what I mean? Like, we've been talking about this from Wendy Williams' time. And then Char said, listen, I understand a new generation that you may not have heard of it, but the fact is that we've heard these speculations. We heard what Keefe D said. We heard of all of these things before. This is just put together properly in a doc in chronological order. And some people are saying it's not in chronological order. So does that mean Char, his opinion means that he's defending Diddy? Because trust me, he's not defending Diddy at all. So, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I put that all together. Put Diddy under the jail for Cassie. I put that all together to not to defend Marlon, because he doesn't need me to stand up for him. I'm not standing up for no other man. And I would just like to say, I do think one thing that Marlon said was stupid when he said 50 Cent is kicking a man when he's down. Like, Diddy is down because of his own stupid mistakes. So I don't think the line of 50 Cent's kicking a man when he was down, I thought that was stupid. But I thought that Marlon has every right to question the documentary, question things, etc., especially as a filmmaker, somebody who make documentaries. So I say all of that to say, form your own opinion, but I just want to give you guys examples of other people who have question the doc? Did it have to be that long? How was the order, etc., etc.? In everything all together, I'm going to say, 50 Cent is winning. I think at the end of everything, he is winning. I have a next thing in a story about Puff suing Netflix. And in that story, you're going to see that this documentary is breaking records. So, shout out to Netflix, shout out to 50 Cent. But I do think that y'all should let people have their opinion about the documentary. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, in our second story, behind feeding off the record, exclusive, Puffy and family launching $1 billion lawsuit against Netflix. I really picked a great week not to use the word DDUI anymore, right? Anyways, Puffy and his family preparing a $1 billion lawsuit against Netflix over explosive 50 Cent documentary, the biggest defamation case in history. Now, time out for 1 second. This is coming from Media Takeout, so I just want to make it clear. Maybe there's some question to this, but the reason why I feel comfortable reading it is because I have some inside information on sources that this is very true and Diddy is lowering up. And also, we have seen from the day before the documentary came out that Diddy did serve a cease and desist. And we did hear that he is working on getting at 50 Cent and Netflix. So regardless of where this is coming from, and even regardless of my sources, you could see how this could be true. And just before we get into this article, I just want to remind you guys about defamation. We learned the technical aspects of defamation with the Megan and Milagro case 2 weeks ago. And the reason why Megan Thee Stallion didn't win outright is because Milagro it was agreed by the jury that she was media. And with media, legally, you have to serve them a cease and desist and tell them that information is wrong. And if they don't retract, then you could sue for defamation. So 50 Cent, Netflix is media. They were served last week a notice of cease and desist saying there are things in this documentary that are false and they need to be retracted. If they do not answer, that does open them up for defamation. Keep that in mind. I'll read the rest to you. Media Takeout has learned that Puffy and several members of his family have lawyered all the way up, and not with just any attorney. We're told they've hired one of the largest and most powerful law firms in the United States of America to launch what insiders are calling the biggest defamation lawsuit in U.S. history. And the target, Netflix. The documentary that set everything off, the 4-part Netflix documentary executive produced by 50 Cent, currently the #1 most watched show on the platform with more than 25 million views. Shout out to 50, shout out to Netflix. Bam, 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 bam. Is packed with new disturbing allegations about Puffy's life and behavior. The series includes claims that Diddy put hands on multiple women. He did things to male employees, Lil Rod. Diddy forced Biggie Smalls' family to pay for his funeral, and Diddy put hands on his elderly mom, Janice Combs. All claims that struck like lightning across the internet. But now the people close to the story are coming forward and they're pushing back hard. Biggie's estate speaks and they're calling cap. Media Takeout was directly contacted by representative of Notorious B.I.G.'s estate with a flat-out deny that the documentary claims that Puffy made B.I.G.'s family cover the funeral cost. The estate says those allegations are completely false. There's also representatives who say the allegations that Diddy ever put hands on his mom are 100% untrue. They call this story deeply hurtful and fabricated. Diddy's camp says the documentary is built on lies. Diddy's team has also issued strong denial, insisting the doc contains numerous false claims, exaggerated stories, and misleading interviews designed to destroy his reputation at the exact moment he's fighting for his freedom. Also, one insider said, this documentary was made to ruin his character. This isn't journalism, it's entertainment. The lawsuit, $1 billion and growing. According to our sources, the Combs family intends to file at least $1 billion in damages, potentially more if Netflix does not retract certain claims. The file that has surpassed the previous largest known defamation claim, the $750 million Fox News paid out over the 2020 election misinformation. Expect to get extremely messy. Netflix stands by the series. 50 Cent has already trolled on social media, and the Diddy family, they're preparing for an all-out legal battle. With reputations, legacy, and $1 billion on the line, this is shaping up to be one of the biggest courtroom showdowns in decades. So, yo, like I said, shame on me for saying all this week, I'm not going to say DIDDY, and literally every day it picks up and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And now we might have the biggest defamation case ever in U.S. history, bigger than the one from Fox News. And just remember, Fox News lost that case and had to pay out millions of dollars. And that's why Tucker Carlson got fired. So defamation is nothing to play with. It can all be avoided. It can all be avoided after you get a cease and desist and you retract certain things. Now, 50 Cent is on a high. Netflix is on a high. I just told you they have 25 million views. The most watched documentary, I don't know ever, but the most watched show on Netflix right now. And, you know, if they retract, it will be shocking to me. And it will be, I feel, detrimental. But you also have to look at money. And if you're somebody suing you for $1 billion and all you have to do is retract some things, I don't know. And from what I heard, they are working overtime in the background, deciding if they're going to retract or if Diddy's going, if Puffy is going to sue. I saw somebody in the comment section that said, don't call him Mr. D, just call him D. D, Mr. D, Puffy, Love, whatever you want to call him. This is going down. So I think to end off today, allow whoever to say whatever and allow them to have their opinion on the documentary. However, let's let the courts and the lawyers decide the facts, because y'all know me. Any true Out Loud or any true daily listeners, you know what I thrive on the most in life, and that is facts. That's why I went to that courtroom. I like facts. Where are the receipts? Puffy, if Netflix is lying about all these things, where are the receipts, sir? I want to know who paid for that funeral. I want receipts. And Netflix and 50 Cent, all those things that you alluded to, Kirk Burrows, all of those things he said, 25% ownership in Bad Boy. Yo, Puffy came in with a bat and said, yo, I want my 25% back. And you said you signed it back. Where are the contracts, sir? I want the contracts. I want to be front and center in this defamation case. Trust me, I'll be sleeping outside every day. I'll be the first one in that courtroom. Whew! Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section below. All right, in our first lead story, Wendy Williams' attorney says she was assured her guardianship would be over by year's end. All right, Wendy Williams' attorney, Joe Tacopina, sat down with Nightline to share an update on her guardianship. He says Wendy was assured her guardianship would end by year's end and vows to keep fighting for her freedom. Take a listen to Joe.
What's the plan you have to get her out of the guardianship, and when can we expect some movement in court?
The plan is this. There are guardianship attorneys, and we're watching and waiting. They've assured Wendy by year's end she'll be out of guardianship.
Okay, normally I would put this in quick news, but I wanted to put this up here in lead stories because I know a lot of you, like me, are very, very invested in this Wendy Williams case and guardianship. We have been following it since the beginning. I know there's always a lot of free Wendy hashtags in our community. So let's start off by putting some free Wendy hashtags. Second thing, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of information. A lot of people are being very tight-lipped. There's a few things that I've heard that I just don't feel comfortable saying. As you know, Charlemagne has been very adamant about trying to get her out. Jason Lee from Hollywood Unlocked, Harvey from TMZ, and a few other people in the industry. And last we reported that there was 2 reports, actually. One, that she passed a cognitive test completely. And then there was also another test from the guardianship's doctor saying that she still has some form of dementia. One thing that I have heard that I feel comfortable saying, that the person said I can say to you guys, is that regardless of if she gets out of this guardianship, let's just say if, she will still require some sort of supervision just to make sure that there's nothing or nobody taking advantage of her. Just leave it at that. We do know, we've heard of stories about her son doing some shady things, and this is kind of like what enacted the guardianship to begin with. But like I said, I just want to respect the family and respect the privacy. Joe is Wendy's personal lawyer, and then there's also a guardianship lawyer. So although that Joe is an amazing lawyer, there's only so much things he can do, but he's overseeing and helping the guardianship. If she doesn't get out of the guardianship at the end of the year, what I know that Joe is pushing for is to have a trial by jury and not just a judge deciding. Nobody is too in love with this judge. So my hope, of course, is that she's completely out, but we'll see if that happens. If not, trial by jury, a jury of her peers. And I think a jury of her peers will listen to the facts and listen to the testimony. Maybe Wendy will even take the stand. Maybe that's what I've heard. And I feel confident that a jury will let her out of this guardianship. We will continue to keep you guys up to date. Joe's a little bit tight-lipped right now, so we don't know all the details, but as soon as I have more, I will let you guys know. Keep up those hashtags. Free Wendy. All right, in our second lead story, we're going to give you guys a little Trump update in the past 24 hours. More importantly, why we're putting this all together is to make a large point. The economy is, I was going to say in the toilet. That's not really fair. The economy is not doing well. Donald Trump campaigned on 2 major things, immigration and the economy. He even said, I won this presidency off of one word. It's an old school word, groceries. I just understand how groceries is an old school word, but whatever. And a lot of people are hurting. Tariffs are not working. And Donald Trump decided to go out and campaign for himself and try to change the narrative that the American economy is amazing. He himself said that he would give himself an A+++++ on the economy. Now, let's get back to the 3 stories I'm going to tell you, and they're nothing to do with the economy. Trump is going out speaking about the economy but he knows there's nothing for him to talk about. And what do I always say? He is the master of deflection, and he talks about every single thing else. Gets people triggered and hooked and speaking about everything else and not the economy. So the first thing is, Donald Trump says black people ride for him because they know scams. Donald Trump is back explaining black people to black people, saying we love him because we know a scam better than anyone and can spot when somebody's getting played. What? Just remember, this is coming from a conference or a speech about the economy, but take a listen.
Black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. I got the biggest vote with black people. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed.
Now, to give context, Donald Trump said, let me tell you, black people love Trump. I got the biggest votes. I got the biggest votes with black people. And here's the context. Trump said Ilhan Omar does nothing but complain in America, and she's upset the U.S. is investigating the Somalian scam in Minnesota. The scam's allegations against members of Minnesota's Somalian community involve a series of large-scale welfare and public assistance fraud schemes that have defrauded U.S. taxpayers of over $1 billion since around 2020. The case centers in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, home to the largest Somalian American population in the U.S., around 76,000 people. Now, Representative Omar, I'm not saying is innocent, I'm not saying is guilty, and I'm not saying that there's not an issue or there's not fraud. But I told you guys this was brought up when Donald Trump was talking about the 2 National Guard incidents that happened around 3 weeks ago, and Donald Trump just threw this in here, and he's just using this as a deflection. He used it then to bring in 2,500 more National Guards, and on a speech about the economy, he's now again talking about Representative Omar. Let's move on. This just in today, social media and travel to the United States breaking news. Potentially, people coming to the United States of America will now have to provide 5 years of social media history. I don't even understand how you do that. How do you provide 5 years of social media history? You also have to provide emails and this and that or whatever. Basically, Donald Trump wants to see, have you been saying anything about him on social media or about MAGA people? And if you have, maybe you're not allowed into the United States of America. And by the way, the United States of America is the land of the free, the home of the brave. Land of the free. Free speech. Take a listen.
Breaking news, social media and travel to the United States. The U.S. is preparing to tighten its travel rules in a major way. Under a new proposal from Customs and Border Protection, foreign visitors from visa waiver countries like Britain, France, Germany, Japan, and South Korea would have to disclose up to 5 years of their social media history before entering the United States, even if they don't need a visa. Travelers would also be required to list a decade of email addresses, plus detailed personal information on parents, spouses, siblings, and children. The change affects over 40 countries. This marks a shift from verifying specific facts like criminal activity into screening people based on what they've said online. Immigration law experts are calling it a paradigm shift, warning it could lead to longer wait times, more travelers being flagged for scrutiny, and a chilling effect on free speech.
All right, moving on to the third highlight. Donald Trump makes weird comments about White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitts. That beautiful face and those lips. Take a listen.
Is Karoline great? You know, when she goes on television, Fox, they dominate. They dominate when she gets up there with that beautiful face and those lips that don't stop, up.
Donald Trump sparked controversy online after making weird comments about White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitts during a rally in Pennsylvania. As he pushed his message on the economy, the president shifted gears and started praising Leavitts' appearance in a moment that quickly went viral across social media platforms. Trump introduced Leavitts to the crowd by calling her a superstar, which immediately drew applause. He told supporters, "We even brought our superstar today, Karoline. Isn't she great? It's Karoline the Great." He continued hyping her up as he talked about how frequently she appears on TV. Trump said, you know when she goes on TV, like Fox, they dominate. When she gets up there with that beautiful face and those lips, they don't stop. Pop, 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 pop. Like a little machine gun. Ugh. That's your Trump update from a rally about the economy. And notice, I haven't played you anything about the economy, other than the fact that he said that it was an A++++. And he didn't even say that at the rally. He said that on an interview. That's your Trump update. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. All right, in our first quick story, the world is now $338 trillion, not million, not billion, $1 trillion in debt, the highest in its history. Global debt has surged to a record US $337.7 trillion by the end of the second quarter 2025, according to a report from the Institute of International Finance. This marks an increase of more than $21 trillion in just the first half of 2025, driven by easing global financial conditions, a weaker US dollar, and looser monetary policies from major central banks. The biggest contributor to the rise is dollar-dominated debt, including large economies such as the United States, China, France, Germany, United Kingdom, and Japan. Although some of the increases reflect the weaker dollar, making existing debt larger in USD terms. At the same time, emerging market countries saw their total debt exceed $109 trillion, and their debt to GDP ratio hit a new peak, suggesting growing vulnerability in those economies. The IIF warned that the rapid expansion is raising alarm bells about fiscal pressure, especially in emerging markets that face large upcoming bonds and loan redemptions. Moreover, in some maturing economies, including the US, reliance on short-term borrowing and heavy government debt could threaten financial stability and strain monetary policy independence. Now, that is a lot of monetary legal jargon to say. If the people are in debt and working overtime and struggling paycheck to paycheck and still in debt, what does that mean for countries across the world and governments that they are 20 times more in debt than the people? For my daily listeners, whenever I talk about money and I tell you guys money ain't real, it's just a construct. Now, I know we need money and I know that we have all agreed to use it as a barometer. When I tell you that money ain't real, this is the fact. Because governments just print money and put themselves in debt to have you more in debt. And it's just a construct. It ain't real. Because being $338 trillion in debt means what? What does that really mean when you really drill down? Just all numbers. I know I'm getting a little deep here, but for my daily listeners, you know what I'm talking about, man. Hug your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? Get in touch with reality. Touch grass. All of this, it's a construct. And the world is in debt. So no stress. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, in our second quick story, Gelo Ball says he regrets leaving relationship with Miss Nikki Baby and that he doesn't like ex-wife Rashida. I should have stayed at home. It's the third day we're talking about LiAngelo Gelo Ball. And I just wanted to play for you guys proof of why no woman on the face of this planet should ever let this man impregnate them ever again. Been saying that for 2 days. I won't play the whole thing because it's even difficult to listen to. But this man left Nikki for Rashida, has not seen his newborn daughter. 2 days ago, it was 6 days. So it's been 8 days, 7 days now. And now he's on podcast being like, yo, I didn't even like my ex-wife. I don't like Rashida. I want to go back with Nikki Baby. Take a listen.
Nikki.
When I was with Nikki, right?
When you removed yourself and moved into a different area, what exactly happened?
Why? That's what
the world wanted.
We was going like not agreeing on type. Like she wanted me to live in Porter Ranch. I wanted her to live with my like just like stuff like that. Like no, like grown up. I guess.
Okay.
Where we was gonna live? Where he was gonna go to school? Like who gonna watch him when we leaving for work and all. I don't know. We were just talking a whole bunch over, going through it, and then I don't know. If I could redo it, I would. I was like, I'd have whooped my own ass for real. Like I'd have stayed there.
That's respect.
But you know what I'm saying?
How did the marriage happen? That's what I want to know. Like, cause I've never heard you talk about it. Cause I was like, bro, there's no way that you just go.
I can't just gonna jump to the.
No, like
you dumb. So she had you like she ain't had. To be honest, I don't like her. Like to keep it a band. It's just like.
How the hell did that happen?
How that? I don't know. I don't have the
she
answer
put that
for
fire on you, boy.
You know what's disappointing about this is that his older brother is sitting down there right beside him, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know about this. I don't know about that." And they come from a married household. You know what I'm saying? He comes from family. Like, there's no excuse. There's some people who are like, "No, my father wasn't around. I didn't know how to do this," which is not an excuse. Y'all know me. I do not play with men and children. Yo, you do the crime, do the time, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're man enough to, get yourself mix up in these things, be a man and be there for your children. I have no respect for that whatsoever. Anyways, this was just further proof that I do not like Gelo Ball. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, in our third quick story, plane crashes into car during emergency landing in Florida. A small plane crashed during an emergency landing in Florida and hit a car, sending one person to the hospital. A small plane tried to make an emergency landing on Interstate 95 in Cocoa, Florida on Monday evening and crashed into a car. 2 men on the plane were not hurt, but the woman driving the car was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The crash happened around 5:45 p.m. during the busy commute, and the road was cleared for a few hours. Officials don't know yet what the cause of the emergency landing was, and the FAA is investigating. Y'all remember at the beginning of the year when there was like a plane incident like every week? And I even remember I was going to Atlanta around that time being like, y'all, I'm afraid to fly. There was something that happened literally like every weekend. Just wanted to throw this out there, like, yo, congrats to the FAA. They've been doing a good job. There hasn't been any accidents. And I just hope that this is not like a flare up and we're going to start seeing more of this happening with the upcoming holidays. Don't want to scare y'all, but let's take a look at the video.
Well, now we want to show you that video one more time. Like Nancy mentioned, incredible video, mostly because most of the folks who were involved there walked.
All right, in our fourth quick story, Beyoncé to return to the Met Gala for the first time in a decade as 2026 co-chair. Beyoncé will return to the Met Gala for the first time in 10 years next year, as per Vogue reports. 2026 Met Gala will celebrate the Met's Spring Costume Institute exhibition, Costume Art, and will be co-chaired by Beyoncé, Nicole Kidman, Venus Williams, and Anna Wintour. Beyoncé last graced the event in 2016 for the Manus and something Gala wearing Givenchy Haute Couture. All right, costume art. I don't know what costume art is, but that would be the theme, I guess. Here's a picture of Beyoncé at the last Met Gala 2016. The Met Gala is still a big deal. Last year, we got some moments from last year. I do like the Met Gala, but the Met Gala with Beyoncé, very, very excited to see what she's going to bring. And now just reading this, Venus Williams, that means that Serena is probably going to have like a little thing to do in the background. Both of them like fashion. So, Serena and Beyonce are close. So Serena, Venus, Beyonce, Met Gala. Yo, where's my horn at? Met Gala 2026. I'm here for it. Okay, our fifth quick story. I was very, very hesitant to touch this topic. The average SEX duration by country. I hesitated to do this because y'all know my mom watches every single episode, but I'm very offended by this list, so I had to address it. So this is the average duration for a male in the bedroom. All right, so mom, please just skip this segment. But Jamaican men are 8? What? Yo, who made this list? I completely disagree with this list. All right, no, listen, I'm going to handle this with tact, even though if my mom still does listen. The first is Ecuador at 24 minutes. Third is Cameroon, 23 minutes. By the way, which is an African, and Jamaicans are African anyway, so like I'm just going to put us at 2. Bolivia at 23 minutes. Sudan, number 4 at 23 minutes. That's, again, another African continent. Cuba, 22. Well, there's black people in Cuba, and that's African, so we'll take that too. Honduras, 21. India, 19. That's a lie, man. Come on. Anyways, Jamaica at 17. Funny, if you go down till the end, Pakistan, 42 seconds. United States of America, 2 minutes. Yo, South Africa, 8 minutes. Nah, man. Shout out to my South Africans. Nah, I lived there for a year. Nah. Anyways, all jokes aside, to try to handle this with tact, as you guys know, I always try to do. A lot of people are talking about this list, and some people are like, what? Yo, 5 minutes. Who needs anything more than 5 minutes? And what I will say is this tactfully. And look, you have a right to like what you like and what you don't like. My opinion and why I'm so offended by this 17 minutes, please. I think the women that are like cool with the 5 minutes or 10 minutes are probably with a man who is not a loving, attentive man, and that's probably like a jackrabbit man. So of course he wanted over in 5 minutes, and a guy who is not attentive or loving or, wanting to, share energy and be with somebody and just go into a beautiful place. Yeah, you too are, lack intimacy and want to be over in 5 minutes. My opinion, 17 minutes, I'm just getting started. What are you talking about? Like, even 24, like, what are you talking about, man? Like, anyways, like I said, I'll just be tactful here. And everybody has the right to an opinion, but I even think 24 is not long enough, just gonna leave it at that. Let me know what you guys think, and let me know if you think I covered this like with tact. I mean, I could do a whole podcast on this, but like I said, moms might be listening. And yes, fact check me. What I'm saying? Talk to anybody I've been with if you think I might be lying. You know what I'm saying? Hey, come on. I'm an R&B guy, man. I'm a lover. Like, I want to go places. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to love you. You know what I mean? I'm just not just here for a moment. 5 minutes? What are we doing in 5 minutes, yo? I love you, girl. Anyways, let me just think in the comment section below. All right, in our sixth quick story, former Fox Sport host Joy Taylor says she used dating apps during the incident that happened in 2020. And she said she used that to look for sex. She says, I'm an H-O-R-N-Y B-word. You should know that about me. Sorry, I had to spell these things out for YouTube. Joy Reid went straight to dating apps while seeking physical intimacy during the 2020 incident when we were locked down. The sports writer recounted her time dating during lockdown in Los Angeles. Let me just go to the clip. I'm going to have to edit most of it out, but here is the clip, all right?
Are you on apps?
Oh, never.
I actually did date someone when I was on Raya. Don't get excited. I'm not on there anymore. I was trying anything. I'm a bastard. You should know this about me. So it was a really hard time.
Now, y'all know me. Women, y'all do whatever you want, however you want, talk however you want. I'm all for it. Men talk like this all the time. So, Joy, these are the things we want to talk about on podcast. I'm here for it. Do your thing. The only thing I will say is that Joy will sometimes go and be like, I don't want to be judged like this, and I don't like that men say this about me, and I don't like guys say this, and I don't like this. And I'm just like, I question some of the things that she does on her Instagram and some of the things that she says on her podcast. And then, say this, and then if somebody makes a comment on things that you say, you cannot say anything. You know what I mean? Like, I say things on this show, and I'm like, hey, this is my life, or I'll write things in my book, but I don't go and be like, yo, how could you say that about me? Well, I said it about myself. So if I said it about myself, you could say it about me too. You can't pick and choose, Joy. And for those of you who don't know, we won't get into it, but there's been court cases and a lot of things with her and Fox and, like men saying things about her, whatever. And I'm not saying that the things that men have said about her in the past are right. There are some things that I have even said on my show that these men are disgusting. And I'm not saying that, but I just feel like Joy cannot pick and choose the things that she says, because the things that you say can and will be used against you in the court of public opinion. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, in our seventh quick story, woman breaks world record by giving birth to 9 babies. Do I have a write-up here? Here we go. Oh, shoot, I have no write-up. One of the greatest feat. Hey, hold on, I gotta look for this write-up here. Sorry about that, guys. 1 second. All right, sorry about that, guys. I have it now. One of the greatest feats I've ever seen. Back in 2022, Melanie Selisi, sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, from Mali set a Guinness World Record after giving birth to 9 babies at once, an incredibly rare medical event. She was flown to Morocco for special care, and despite the odds, all 9 babies survived thanks to a huge team of doctors and experts. She's now back at home in Mali, where she and the babies are healthy and growing. Their story has become a standout moment in modern medicine and a reminder just how amazing mothers can be. All right, I'll put some pictures here. Bam, 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 bam. Y'all know how much I love motherhood and birth and everything about that. So when I saw this story, I had to play it for you guys. This is why I keep saying that I feel like females should be the first wonder of the world. A human body grew 9 people, 9 little humans in one body, and then gave birth. And you're just going to walk around and just treat her like a regular old human? She's a miracle. And those children are miracles. Oh, this is just beautiful to see, man. Look at all these beautiful babies, man. Oh, yo, shout out to the doctors and shout out to God, man. This is just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 9 babies. I can't even get one. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. All right, in our 8th quick story, Pamela Anderson shares that she's cracked the code by going makeup free and wants young women in her life to feel confident in who they are. All right, I'm a big Pamela Anderson fan. Love her and love this. Pamela Anderson opens up about cracking the code on her looks, experimenting with her hair, and being confident in who she is. Here is a quick clip. We all know that Pamela Anderson has been on this wave for the past, 5 years, 10 years now, going out, being natural, being on her Instagram as being natural. And I want to do my part as a man to support this. You know, I'll put things on here like, oh, this person is beautiful and that person is hot, whatever. Pamela Anderson is just as beautiful. Y'all know that I love naturalness. I'm not a fan of surgery. If you want to do it, fine. But I'm always of the thinking of God made you a way for a reason, and every single person is beautiful, has how they are. And I love a woman. I think I've said this before. My favorite thing is a woman coming out the shower. No hair done, no makeup, nothing. That's how I'm judging my girl. Like, you know, and the makeup and the hair and all this stuff, but you coming out of the shower in a towel or like, you know, putting like a big tea on just with your hair wet. If I like you then, if I'm like, yo, that is my girl, that's the most beautiful girl in the world, that's how you know I'm in love. All right. Here's Pamela Anderson. Take a listen.
I feel like I've kind of cracked the code. I look like my Instagram photos every day. So you really, that's a big deal, because I think that's where it stemmed from, is thinking, you know, I have all these young women in my life. If it's my son's, you know, girlfriends or fiance or nieces, I just want to make sure that they feel confident in who they are, because it's just good enough.
All right, this brings us to everyone's favorite segment, comments and social discussion of the day. Before we get to that, I have a very important question to ask you. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Hold up, wait, let me answer that question for you. It's rhetorical. Yes, they are. All 3 of them, if you are not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. Please go to my sponsor below, aura.com/trendoutloud, to get your free 14-day trial to see if any of your data has already been exposed. If you're ever wondering how scammers get your phone number or why your inbox is filled with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers, and they sell your data, and they do it without your consent, and they make billions of dollars selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. That's why I recommend today's sponsor to my family, friends, and out louders, Now, just give me a second. I'll give you guys more context. Aura takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your information off of these sites and keeping it off. Hold up. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door, but keeping your back door and your windows open. Now, here is what my favorite part that I like to explain. Scripts are cool and all of that, but sometimes you need things in layman terms. Anytime you do anything online and you enter your information, whether it be your address, your phone number, your credit card, social security, whatever, it's stored in the back end and it is sold without your consent in the spirit of, we just want to know what Trent is doing. We want to know what Susan is buying so that we could target them, et cetera, et cetera. Your information gets in the hands of what we call bad actors, AKA scammers. So when your cell phone rings and you're like, how the hell does this person get my phone number? That's how. Or when you get an email with a link that looks like it's from Google or looks like it's from ChatGPT or looks like it's from something and you click it and all your information is gone, or sometimes your information is taken, you don't even know. This is what Aura helps you with, because every time you do something, you can email the company and say, hey, can you take this off Netflix? Hey, Amazon, can you remove my information? But your information is online so much that you can't go independently to every single website. That is why the key part here is Aura takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your information off of these sites and keeping it off. That's why I promote Aura so much. With Aura, you get alerts if any of your personal information is ever found on the dark web. Real-time fraud alerts if your credit card or banking information is ever found on the dark web. You get a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they also have US-based around-the-clock customer service. They have the best customer service. Trust me, they're the best. They also include they also include a $5 million identity theft insurance protection package. In the event that anything goes wrong, you are covered up to $5 million. Second link below. And by the way, I do know that the link wasn't working for a couple of days. My bad. I'm going to check it every day. Click the link below. In the event the link doesn't work, QR code, I always put it beside me here, and at the end of the show, just take out your phone, take your camera, put it out, go to Aura. It's free, absolutely free for 14 days. They'll show you all your information that's been out already, and they'll take it offline for you for free. All right. Don't say I didn't warn you, yo. It's dangerous out here. All right. At the beginning of the show, we got a super thanks live, and it was from Angeli. I mean, there's a lot of other stuff here, but I think it's Angeli Springer. Angeli said, thanks. And you know what? Thank you very much. I hope I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. Because I hadn't gotten a super chat in 3-4 days. I was thinking you guys don't love me anymore. So thank you very much. I'll reply back right away live on camera. Okay. As we do, regardless of thanks or super thanks or not, we go to live comments. Good or bad comments, we never run or hide. I'm going to scroll, but the first person says, let's talk toilet paper. Let me just see. Let's talk toilet paper. The toilet paper A should be over when the printed toilet paper, there is a design on it. Toilet paper B is when there is no design on it. Design or no design, I prefer my toilet paper A. Okay, at least. Even if there is no design or not a design, the toilet paper has to be on the outside unequivocally, okay? Anyways, let me go here and randomly pick, and stop. And it says, hi, Mr. Trent. Yeah, she needs to be investigated. When it comes to DIDDY, she's definitely needs to be checked out and see if there was any money exchanged. Just saying. This is talking about the juror. And this comment comes from Delta George. 100,000%. This is juror, I think 160. We nicknamed her Ponytail. I'm telling you, man, in that documentary, I can't believe she actually said those things. Yo, Puffy looked at me and was like, could you believe this? And I'm looking at him saying, I can't believe it either. Yo, the judge, I told you guys, reprimanded him twice. Like, you're not allowed to look at the jury. You can't have Cassie up there saying things and then you be like, she's lying. And then make contacted the jury. And the judge was like, listen, you're human. I understand you have emotions, but stop it. Juror 160 is like, yo, I felt all his emotions. Like, what? That's grounds just for a mistrial right there. And everybody has said that. Like, she's a fan, she's a fan, she's a fan. We said that every day in the courtroom. Like, anyways, let's just leave it at that. We talked enough about Mr. Puffy. Anyways, thank you very much for your comments. All right. Let me tell you guys how to give your own super thanks. This has come from people emailing us saying, hey, do you have Venmo, PayPal? We really love the show. We're daily listeners. How do we give back to the show? The best way to do it is that thanks button at the bottom of every video. What I love about it is that you get a little dial. You could choose any amount you would like to give to the show, but also you could change the thanks to whatever comment you would like. Just like this past comment here, she left thanks, fine. Or you could change it over and say whatever you would like. I'll read out the comment if you would like. Also, and what I like about it is that it gives me a notification, as you guys saw live. It's like sending me a text message and I'll reply right away. I'll like it and heart it. Here is YouTube explaining it better than I can.
Buy a super thanks by clicking the thanks button under your video. There are multiple price points a viewer can purchase that each have their own special one-time animation. As an added bonus, viewers will get to post a distinct, colorful comment in your video's comment section.
All right. So also another way to give back to the show is to join the Out Loud membership. With the Out Loud membership, which is the first link below where you'll see a join button above me, you get loyalty badges, emojis, member-only live stream, member-only videos, early access to new videos, member shoutouts, and you get vlogs. By the way, I know I promised a vlog today. I know I did. But I went to a little service, kind of not as funeral service, but an honoring of somebody who passed. And I just didn't have time today. I will get to it tomorrow. Promise you guys that. First link below, sign up. When you get to the sign up menu, you'll see different levels of Out Loud membership. I just like to let you guys know daily that we're all Big One Happy Family. There's no different accesses. That has come from different people saying, hey, we want to give a little bit more than just the first amount. So we gave different amounts. It's kind of like a tip menu depending on what you want to give for the month. Any amount or any membership you choose, we're grateful that you are just part of the family. All right. So thank you for that. Okay, let's go to social discussion. What is I know what social discussion is. This is a good one. All right. These two girls were on a podcast and they're talking about red flags. And one girl said, you're on a first date and you take leftovers. That's a red flag for me. And her friend or colleague or whoever she is like, yeah, it's a red flag for me too. And then she went on to say, like, for me, it's like financial. What? Take a listen.
What?
That's a red flag for me. Taking
the leftovers
food on your first date. On your first date with someone, leave the food.
Leave the food.
I have to agree.
All right.
But who wanted to take the food, you or her?
We both didn't want it to go to waste. So I was like, do you want it? And she was like, no. And I was like, all right, I guess I'll take it. So I took it. There were two separate packages, right?
Lauren, can you tell us why taking the food is...
Yeah, I'd love to hear this.
...an ick?
It has something to do for me, like, financially. I think that leftovers, when you take leftovers, it's when you're, like, in a relationship. As a first date, you just eat whatever you want, and if there's leftovers, you can leave them there, and then you can go your separate ways.
All right. Oh, my gosh. You want to know what this is a result of? This is a result of our Instagram culture, which I'm no longer a part of and I hate now. Like, this is women just having like options and just being ridiculous. You're on a date with a man and he doesn't take his leftovers, and for you, that's a financial thing? I would hope for somebody to say this to me on a first date so I know to never speak to this person ever again and not waste my time. More than the Instagram joke and just this, people, can we get to a place where we speak to each other again and not like, oh, this is a flag, and oh, this is an ick, and oh, this is whatever. Like, I'm so sick of hearing these like, oh, that, nope, I'm out. Oh, no, regardless if it's because Instagram is giving people access to so many other people. whatever the reasons are, maybe it's just a 2025 thing, or maybe people are just extra cautious, but how about just using your brains? Now, if you want to understand about somebody's financial motives or somebody's financial intelligence, how about you ask them some financial questions? How about you test their financial intellect? Or maybe that's just beyond you and you have no financial intellect. So the only thing that you have to judge is, let me see if this man takes his leftovers. Ugh, she is an ick. And I'm going to be alone for the rest of my life. Like, I am so turned off from just people and just dating and just this. I am going to live such a lonely life. Let me know what you guys think about this. Red flag. Everything's a red flag. There's a podcast. Is this a red flag? If a guy has a cat, it's a red flag, which I do think is a red flag, but still. Is this a red flag? Is that a red flag? Can we just get to know each other like normal people? I feel like dating is an ick. Anyways, I digress. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. If your dream job meant leaving everyone behind, would you take it? First person said, as long as my kids are with me, peace. Another person said, yep. All I need is me and my kids. Another person said, immediately, I don't have anyone left anyways. Oh, that's sad. Another person said, including your family and kids, that's tough enough. Everybody else, sure, but family and young kids make it extremely hard. Another person said, dream job, y'all dream to work. It's funny. That's somebody who doesn't understand a dream job. A dream job has nothing to do with work. It has something to do with your dream, a bigger purpose, something that is fulfilling to you. But I'll talk about that in a minute. Don't have a dream job. See, that hurts my heart for you. I have a dream business empire. Okay. And heck yeah, I would. I'll be back to get my children and grandchildren. Okay, y'all are playing semantics, dream job. Okay, anyways. Somebody says, yep, I'm moving to Vietnam in 2 months. Another person said, I can't leave my daughter, so no. Dream job. My dream isn't a job, so no. Again, that's semantics. Just pay taxes. F it. As long as my son can come with me. Leaving them behind as far as what? How long? Where are they left behind? Am I being... Okay, the person's getting too far into it. Yep. I'm left with nothing. So yeah. Well, that's really sad. Somebody said, with the quickness. Somebody said, a dream job is no labor. Okay. So I already don't like these answers because people are playing semantics. And y'all know me, I take opportunities like this to talk about bigger issues. So I'll even play these people's games. Even if it is a job where we're being technical, where you're working for somebody. I hate that, like, don't work for somebody. Give me a break. Not everybody could be bosses. People, y'all know, my daily listeners, the whole point of this podcast or this show that I started years ago was to talk to people about living your truth and living out your purpose. That is my purpose in life. It's morphed into politics and Diddy and etc. Diddy, I said the name again. Darn it. And Puffy and entertainment and Jay-Z and Beyonce. But I take these moments to speak to the people that get to this point of the show. And it doesn't matter if it's dream company, dream empire, dream whatever. What I want to focus on today is dream. And you only have one life, and some of us only get a dream or two. And your purpose in life is to live out that dream. That's the only thing that matters. I already told you money is a construct. I proved that to you. The world is in debt by 338 trillion. Who are they in debt to? To the computer that they type it up and print stuff out? Follow your dreams. If you have an opportunity to go. Of course, I wouldn't leave my kids, but my grandmother left Jamaica and left my mom and my aunt to come to Canada and give us an opportunity and had to make that sacrifice. And then she brought my mom and my aunt, and then her brother, and then her sister, and 6 other people. I start out my book talking about my grandmother because she had a dream. And ironically, in her dream coming to Canada and her desire and her passion to leave Jamaica, she had to walk 15 kilometers to a place to go and sign up to leave. And at that point, she didn't have shoes. She had to borrow her neighbor's shoes. I tell the story in my book. She had to borrow a man's shoes that were 3 or 4 times her size. But she walked there, she filled out the paperwork, and the next year she was accepted to come here to Canada under the domestic scheme program. And guess what? 1 generation removed, her grandson, guess what? Had a national company selling shoes. I am my grandmother's dream. So please use this as an example to live out your dream. Never let anybody tell you that you cannot dream. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot be your dream. And know that dreams take time, and it takes sacrifice, and it takes hard work. But please, 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 I beg you with one thing, please always fulfill and live out your dream. And I would just like to end off by saying your dream should never be equal or equivalent to money. My aunt, my mom's sister, her dream was to be a teacher, and she lived out her life doing that. And she was the happiest at her nursery. And even in retirement, my sister's kids and her kids, every Christmas, she would do things for them, and Easter, and she loved being with kids, and she lived out her dream. Coming from Jamaica, being brought up in the country, she's like, I just want to be a teacher, and that was her dream, and she lived out her life. God rest her soul. So just wanted to take the time out to remind you guys to live out your dreams. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, y'all. Sorry, I went a little deep there, but that is it. Thank you very much. I thought we had a good show. Before I let you guys go, just want to remind you of 3 things for those who are looking back to give back to your show, to your favorite host. Make sure you use that thanks button below. Second thing, don't forget to sign up for the Out Loud membership. Vlogs come in, access. You get a little star beside your name, but when you're commenting, everybody knows that you're part of the Out Loud family. So make sure y'all sign up for the Out Loud membership today. And third of all, do yourself a favor. Click that second link, QR code beside me. Sign up for Aura. It's absolutely 100% free for the first 14 days. And within those 14 days, they will show you all of your information that's out there and take it offline for you for free. So make sure you sign up for Aura today. Before I let you go, just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trend Out Loud show. For those of you who like to listen to shows like this, we're available on all social. I do this every day, and every day I mess up at some point. We're available on all podcast platforms. Just go to any pod site, type in Trend Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow, subscribe button, so you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And we upload 7 days a week. Now, if you're like me and you like watching shows like this, head on over to YouTube, type in Trend Out Loud. When the show pops up, I'm going to need you to do 6 things. First 2, hit that subscribe and hit that like button. Get the algorithming, please. 3, most important to me, please try to comment below. I do the show with you guys. You guys are my co-host. If you guys are not answering and joining in on the conversation, I'm just out here by myself. So please don't let me be out here by myself. I don't like to be lonely. Also, for those of you who don't want to join in on the conversation, I do not want to make you feel pressured, but one of the things I love to do before I go to bed is I look at all the comments, good or bad, and I love to see how global the show is. So please, if you don't want to join in on a conversation, let me know which country or city you're watching from. It makes me happy. 4th, if you're really enjoying the show, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones because it helps in growing the channel. And we're here to grow this community and this channel. We are committed for years to come. 5th, sign up for the Out Loud membership. And 6th, use that thanks button and give back to your favorite YouTube host. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the show, I'm available on all social platforms. It's also the same handle, Trend Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram And lastly, you could follow our Instagram show page, The Trend Out Loud Show. We've been slacking a little bit lately, I know, but normally we do put up most of the videos that we cannot play here on YouTube for copyright reasons, and we put up on there. So make sure you stay tuned, and that's a good place to find like updates and show times and anything that's going on. So make sure you follow that today, The Trend Out Loud Show. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. I will see you tomorrow around the same time, same place. I love y'all. I have a great day. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trend Out Loud. Peace.